You got a story for me, I'm hoping, because
I
otherwise I'm
do.
going to be horribly disappointed and I will throw my headphones off and stomp out of the room.
My goodness, that's very dramatic.
Well, I'm a dramatic kind of guy.
Actually, I wanted to touch upon your story. Reminded me a lot of the Thanksgiving grandma story. Do you recall that?
Vaguely, yeah, refresh my memory.
So I think it was like the mid 2010s. And this woman had sent out like a mass Thanksgiving invitation to her family. And one of her grandkids, their number had changed and been reassigned to another fella. And this young man got this invite to Thanksgiving dinner. And he was like, I don't know who you are, but it sounds good. And he accepted the invitation and he went. And they just hit it off. And for years afterwards, and I think maybe till this day, they still celebrate Thanksgiving together. And I just love it.
We need more of that in the world
Absolutely.
today, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And now a story.
Yes. Unrelated to messages in bottles or Thanksgiving dinners.
Okay.
It was May 1955 near Loveland, Ohio, along the Little Miami River. A businessman was traveling, and depending on the source, he was a traveling salesman. But either way, this guy was driving late at night. It was like 3:30 a.m. And he had to slow down and take a second look at what he described as three humanoid creatures gathered near a bridge.
Just clustered together near a bridge.
Yeah. Now, they were described as humanoid in build, but smaller than the average human, standing approximately 3 to 4 feet tall, with green, leathery skin and large, protruding eyes.
Reptilians.
This was the earliest alleged sighting of the Loveland Frogmen.
The Loveland Frogmen? I thought we'd pretty much covered every cryptid known to man.
Wrong.
Okay. If we have done this, we've both forgotten, so it's new to us.
Right. Skin, green, leathery, textured like the skin of a frog or reptile, often described as wrinkled or having a bumpy texture. A head and face distinctly frog-like, wide mouth similar to a frog's or a lizard's, lacking hair or any mammalian features, webbed hands and feet, typical of an amphibious creature, fingers and toes described as having claw-like tips, though this detail does vary in reports. It's said that they stand upright, like bipedal frogmen.
So kind of a combination of amphibian and mammal, kind of like the creatures on the horrible version of Sound of Thunder that we watched.
Yeah, those were like lizard baboons or something like that.
They were baboons with like lizard tails. It was really bad CGI.
It was fine. It was another great film choice by you.
It had potential.
It said that this creature could leap great distances, obviously, and its movements were described as smooth but slightly unsettling due to its amphibian-like gait. Large, glowing or reflective eyes, able to be spotted in the dark. You know, that's what you'd expect with Frogman, I guess.
Sure.
Witnesses reported a strong and unusual odor that lingered in the air around these creatures.
Yeah. Did they describe what it was like?
Yes. Reminiscent of alfalfa and almonds.
What? Okay.
Yeah, potentially.
I wouldn't have gone with that because that sounds kind of pleasant. It sounds like a Yankee Candle.
Alfalfa and almonds, the new fall scent. This creature was reportedly seen in a group of 3, suggesting that they are like herd animals. I don't know what a group of frogs is called. Once again, this is really our Achilles heel is what groups of animals are called. So one of the creatures was described as holding a device or something that appeared to be a device that was shooting out sparks. Maybe some sort of weapon, though its purpose remains mysterious. So fast forward to 1972. This is a significant year for the Loveland Frogman, aka Mr. Frogman. And after nearly 2 decades of no reports or sightings of this creature, reports resurfaced on March 3rd by a local police officer named Ray Shockey. He was driving down Riverside Drive late at night when he saw a large frog-like creature crouched on the road.
No.
Crouching. Now, as his patrol car approached, the creature stood up, looked at him, and then leaped over a guardrail into the Little Miami River. Now, Officer Shockey described this creature as, again, 3 to 4 feet tall with textured, leathery skin and a frog-like face. Now, just 2 weeks later, Officer Mark Matthews had another close encounter with this creature, finding it lying in the middle of the road. And now, in an attempt to apprehend this creature, Matthews fired his weapon. Again, we only shoot at things when we know what they are. Stop this.
On top of that, he was lying in the road. Perhaps he was already injured. You know?
Perhaps.
As a frogman in the road, looks like he's in some sort of distress. Let me fill him full of lead.
2 in the hat, as the kids say.
That's what they say. I've heard them.
The creature did manage to escape, raising further questions and curiosity about what is going on here near the Little Miami River. The Loveland Frogman, aka Mr. Frogman, is just, it's an interesting thing because now a businessman and 2 policemen have seen him. And years later, though, Matthews, the second policeman, changed his story. He stated that what he'd seen was probably just a large iguana in Ohio.
Sure.
He suggested that maybe something had happened to this iguana's tail, making it appear unusual, more frog-like than iguana-like, and that in the darkness, maybe what he was seeing was misinterpreted. And he believes that the Mr. Frogman stories have been blown out of proportion.
Now, the government just got to him and had him threatened his family, and he had to retract the story.
According to Cryptid Wiki, he stated that, quote, "It was and is no monster. It wasn't leathery or had wet matted fur. It was not 3 to 5 feet tall. It did not stand erect. The animal that I saw was obviously some type of lizard that someone had as a pet, and it either got too large for its aquarium or escaped by accident, or they simply got tired of it. And that is that. That's all that needs to be said about this now tailless, very large iguana that's scootling around Ohio."
No, nothing to see here. Move along now. Move along.
So, yeah, he definitely saw some pressure from Big Frog. Either way, these incidents contributed to the ongoing fascination and folklore surrounding this mysterious creature, leaving locals and cryptozoologists captivated by the possibility of what is being spotted. In addition to its physical appearance, the Mr. Frogman is often described as unsettling or eerie, but not aggressive. No one has said that there was any sort of coming at ya Mr. Frogman, which is what you'd expect.
Apparently he had a weapon at some point or something that shot out sparks, and that would make me think that maybe he had a hidden aggressive side.
maybe he was celebrating some sort of event and had sparklers.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
You don't know.
It was an iguana who lost his tail and just happened to have some sparklers.
Yeah, it was left over from the 4th. So anyway, the most recent sighting of Mr. Frogman reportedly occurred in 2016.
Really?
2 teenagers claimed to have photographed the creature while they were playing Pokemon Go. This sighting reignited interest in the Mr. Frogman legend as the teenagers shared their experience on social media. The picture is out and about, and it has sparked new discussions and debates about whether or not this is a real phenomena or if it's just a hoax.
Pikachu.
It's probably a Pikachu. The Loveland Frogman has evolved into a significant cultural icon for Loveland, Ohio. Merchants obviously have capitalized on the legend, selling frog-themed merch, including t-shirts and mugs, and they're very popular among both tourists and residents. And as I'm sure you can imagine, the annual Loveland Frogman Festival attracts a lot of visitors. This is another reason we have to go to Ohio.
As if we need more.
I desperately want to go to the Frogman Festival. It's a burning yearning that has to be.
It's a desire that glows within your chest.
Yeah, like the eyes of the Loveland Frogman.
Yeah. It's so poetic.
Yeah. Frogman symbolizes local identity and community pride. It's really become like a thing in Loveland, and I love that. Stories of his sightings from the 1950s, the 1970s, and recently have inspired art and even a bluegrass musical titled Hot Damn, It's the Loveland Frog.
Well,
and that debut...
Is that still touring? Because I want to see that.
Unclear. It did debut on stage in 2014.
I'm going to see if I can find any clips from that, because
I know
that's got to be just a magical production.
Doesn't it sound wonderful? This is everything that I want to be a part of. I can't always get on board with these cryptid stories, but this one, 100%. I'm in.
Okay.
Let's do this.
This is a new moment. It's a new year. It's a new attitude from Katrina Walls.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day. And I'm feeling froggy.
Okay. Fair enough.
In 2023, the Frogman was named the city's official mascot. He now appears, or, representations of him, obviously, not the real Frogman.
No.
But his mascot appears at events dressed as a frog prince, further solidifying his place in the Ohioan culture.
Uh-huh. Does the mascot smell like alfalfa and almonds?
I hope so.
Me too.
I hope so. I hope they have a body spray that they use just for that.
Frogman. It's just called Frogman. There's some challenges with the marketing of that, I think.
Frogman. Frogman Couture.
Uh-huh. I love it.
By Marc Jacobs. All right. I got my information from Cryptid Wiki, from tetsu.com, WLTW. I'm sorry, I messed that up. WLWT.com, which is hard to say, and I can't imagine why you would choose those as your call letters, and danbeard.org.
Fascinating.
Oh,
I'm going to do some digging around, see if I can find some clips from that musical.
Can we please go to the Frog Festival?
Try and stop me. I'm immediately going to start looking for availability. I wonder if it's on Ticketmaster.